Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Taking Over. I am, of course, Ol'Ed Ed Fries, and I'm joined once again by the natural Hollywood Astrid. I haven't done the whole thing in a while, and honestly, I can't remember most of them. Astrid Pizarro, how you doing, Astrid? You're muted. Aha! She pulled it in. Woo-hoo!
Dang it! I forgot. Darn you!
She pulled it in. It's fantastic. Aha!
No, why are you rubbing off on me? Yay!
Apparently, STG's third most used emote, which means reminds me, Bobby, I've got to get the lawyers involved here.
Yeah,
Speaking of Bobby, Lionel Hutz, he's worth more than a penny. He doesn't do very good work, but he's...
Wait, I forgot we don't have pennies anymore. He has to be a dime at least.
Nickel.
No, we'll give him a little bit more. So.
I don't know if I should. I mean, he's not doing very well. But anyways, we're here to talk about a pro wrestling show, Wrestling Open. Wrestling Open is an interesting thing here, and I love this because we've talked multiple times doing this show since we've turned to indie coverage about how it would be great to talk about indie coverage on a weekly basis and how difficult it is to do an indie show like a televised wrestling show and how they're often so different because of the fact that indie wrestling shows, it's hard to have the talent. It's hard to always have the sustainability to continue to put out a top-notch product every week. Beyond Wrestling has done a very good job of this with not only one, but two weekly television shows featuring two essentially different sets of talent. Wrestling Open. Wrestling Open is a fantastic hour and a half, 2-hour wrestling show. That's great. Which Astrid, by the way, loves. Astrid's biggest positive of this whole show, besides features a whole bunch of women, is, hey, look, it was only 2 hours. I like that. Can we do more of these? But the other thing that they do is they do a very good job of making this feel like a weekly wrestling television show. They had video packages in between each match. They have a relatively decent commentary crew. We'll talk about Paul Crockett and Brad Hollister. And the reason why I say a decent one is because of the fact that the wrestling Open crew isn't always these two guys. It is Beyond Wrestling's greatness of them is that they can put any people that they have there onto commentary. Sometimes it's Rich Palladino. Sometimes it's a professional wrestler like a big and Brad Hollister. You know, we got Paul Crockett. When we did America Rana, we had Pedro Dones on the show. It's great to be able to have a variety of voices to be able to carry you through these shows. I love Wrestling Open. This is the 33rd episode of Wrestling Open for the Rhode Island version. They're a little over a year or two into the Worcester, Mass version. But yeah, what did you think of the building? We've been here before. This is the Rhodes on Pawtucket in Cranston, Rhode Island. We were here for America Rana. What did you think of the building from the outside looking in? And then I'll tell you what it felt like in the building because I happened to be there for this show.
First question is, was it sold out officially? That you recall, at least? I know
Sort
a
of.
little bit.
Sort of.
Because it felt full, but I also feel like there could be gaps for more people there, if that makes sense. Because if it was sold out, they could have added more seats.
So here's the thing. They do a fun little promotion here, and I'm looking for the card, and I don't necessarily see it here. They do, I'd call it a rewards program. It's like, you know, when you go to your local coffee shop and they give you a rewards card, and in the old, now it's on an app, but in the old days, it would be a punch card. And you get the things, you know, you get your punch or you get your stamp. Here, it's a signature. You get whoever's working the door. In this case, it was the owner of Beyond Wrestling was over there working. Essentially, buy 5 coffees, get 1 free. Here it is. Come to our show 4 times. Come back again free.
I like how Ed is explaining it to me as if I don't know. When I get the card from the comic book shop, is I spend $10 and you get a comic book for free.
I'm just saying, like,
you know, we don't have that big of an age gap, sir. Just so you know.
Just because you understand doesn't mean that all of the audience understands.
I just want to make sure.
The other thing about this show is front row tickets are like $20. And then every row beyond that, which there aren't many other rows, are like 10 or 15. And you can buy tickets at the door. And like I said, it's a fun little show. I think they could probably add more in. They could add more seating if they wanted to. Hollywood Astrid showing her young age, the lack of punch card knowledge. Exactly.
Hey.
Because she says, I understand this, and then gives me an example of something that's not what I was talking about.
But I get something like that similarly at the comic book shop. It's like I don't know if they give it to you for free or not, but now it's electronically instead of just like punching it. And I forgot what other place I had one in. But I know it was mostly the comic book shop. I forgot the name of it though. Oh my goodness. My brother's gonna kill me for this. But when I remember, I'll remember. But yeah, it was the one that if you every $10 you spend, they'll give you the stamp on it. Mm-hmm. And I forgot what they give you at the end though. Because it's been a while.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that this is a cool venue. I like the look of it. Mm-hmm. The fun part is it's a function hall, like it's weddings and things like that. So like the whole, like you walk in and it's like a wedding function room in the opening room with the big bar and everything else. And then you get led into the building, the other portion of it where the wrestling portion happens. And it's got this big open space. They got the stage there where they have all of commentary, where Rich sits. They have all those tables up there. And then they have the ring and they have a handful of rows. I wish to pay 10 mortgage payment, get the next one free. I agree. That would be fantastic.
Oh, in this economy, I would love that. Aww. What happened now? You're muted?
We're only number 3, which is probably why you ended up not getting mentioned, because, it should be higher than that.
Hey, number 3 is pretty high up.
I do that very often. Yes, 186 damn hours. And you should have watched more. Just saying. You should have watched more.
Great. Thank you, Bobby. There you go. Hey, stop muting yourself.
Christ almighty. Anyways, moving on. Talk about the show. All right. So we're here. Rich welcomes us here again. It's wonderful to see Rich Palladino again. It's fantastic. And we start with the qualifying match. As Rich explains, it is going to be a 6-way qualifying match. All 6 women have the opportunity, but it is one fall to a finish for this match. And it did a very good job of explaining that in the later match, it will be an elimination match. We have Laynie Luck taking on Jordan Blade, Angelica Risk, Kaitlyn Marie, Lili Ruiz, and Nixie XS. I like this match. I had a whole bunch of fun. One of the other things I think that's really fun about this is 4 people I've seen before, 1 person I've heard of before, and somebody that was completely unknown to me that I went, ooh, I must see more.
I wonder why.
I won't tell you who it is, and I won't tell you why.
Somebody's gonna guess it. Come on, SCG, you can guess it.
I mean, it's going to be easy because I'm going to narrow it down here. We've talked about Nixie XS on this show a handful of times. We think that I want to see her in a more violent atmosphere. She is the Versace of violence, and I just want to see a little bit more violence from her at some point. I think that's something I need to see in 2026. We need to find her having some kind of hardcore deathmatchy kind of match, because I need to see that. Angelica Risk, we will have seen on Ring of Honor. I think on a couple of the shows that I did for Ring of Honor, Versace of violence means not violent enough. No. Versace of violence means she's top-notch violence. Jordan Blade, we will know from Bloodsport. I've seen Jordan Blade on a couple of things of Bloodsport. And then, of course, Laynie Luck. We've talked about Laynie Luck before. I know I talked about her. I don't know if she was on the other show we did for Dreamwave, but I know she was on the show that you missed for Dreamwave that I did solo. But Laynie Luck was here. What did you think of this match?
Well, I'm glad this is one of the times that I knew everybody in this match. I was a little bit familiar with everybody, just a little bit more with others than the other in comparison. But it was for most of them the first time I actually watched them like a whole match. It wasn't just like a clip or a highlight like I watch usually online. But I liked it. I was just hoping at first when I first looked up the card because I was doing the background stuff here and putting the card in, doing the tags for YouTube like we usually do, and I thought this was elimination match as well, like the other one in the main event. So I was hoping it was, as I was like, oh, this is gonna take a while. I was like, where's my popcorn now? You know, I want to be here for a little bit. And then I realized it wasn't. That is actually just a six-way match. I did like the fact that they had only two people in the ring, but everybody else was in the corners. And it was what like you tag in and out the way it is. I thought that was very interesting because I would have expected everybody to be in the ring at once. Like everybody like fight outside in the ring, whatever it is. So I like that concept of having everybody on basically on the aprons here on the corners waiting to be tagged in. So it's always interesting because if you look at the match and the way the concept is, anybody can be fighting anybody. I can tag in somebody else, do a move, and just win the match, and everybody else on the apron is done to be done with because of the way it's set up so far. So I thought that concept of it was pretty interesting. But I like the fact that they're like, if anybody goes outside, somebody else can come in, but we gotta make sure there's always two people in the ring. We did have moments that they actually had teamed up, especially I think it was Erica and
That's in the main event. We're in the opening match.
oh, that was a later. But yeah, there was a lot of team ups here and there. But I like the fact that there was always something happening in the ring, which is what we always mention we love about the multi-person matches in NXT. And I like the fact that there was always something happening here in the ring. And there was no moment that there was nothing happening. There was like almost like no breathing room, if that makes sense. But it's not a bad thing either. I did like that there's always something happening inside. Somebody sit down, somebody else came in, and it was this like in and out thing. And I love that concept of how we keep going and going and going. And I love the fact there's like one here, and I like the action, the back and forth that we had, the pacing of it. I loved it from beginning to end, to be honest.
This match looked so much better on IWTV than it did in person. And again, it wasn't a bad match in person. I really like this match in person. The problem is when you're sitting front row at a match like this, when you're talking about the fact that you've got two people kind of mostly focused in the ring, there was a lot of times where if you diverted your attention from anywhere other than the ring, you're watching people just kind of stand around. And again, that's how the match was put together, and I get it. It's hard to do a 6-person match and have everybody constantly being involved and being inside of it. And I get that, and I appreciate that. I thought there was a lot of really fun action in this match. I thought everybody got their moments to shine. Everybody got their spotlight, which I think is very important in a match like this because you have the WWE ID guy here, which means you have the talent scouts here. Remember, you've also got 2 WWE ID talent that we're going to talk about later on in the show here as well. And they're going to be bringing back notes of not just the people in the main event, not just the people in the 11 women who had the opportunity to challenge for the WWE ID Women's Championship, but the Shooter Boys, Starstruck, all of these people are going to be having notes taken back from Aaron Rourke and Marcus Mathers because somebody in the WWE ID program is going to ask them, hey, you were at this show. What was the vibe like? Who's good? Who's, is there anybody we need to keep our eye on? And obviously, all of the 11 women in these 2 matches had the potential to be ID'd. So WWE is already looking at these 11 individuals. I thought that match was great. Nixie was great. Love Nixie. I thought Laynie Luck was fantastic. This is my first prolonged look at Laynie Luck in these 2 matches. I thought she was sensational. I still don't get, and again, this is old man shakes hand at fist, yells at cloud. What is turnt? Like I don't understand.
Because of the party mode. Is the best way to describe it.
I don't understand.
No?
I didn't watch the Jersey Shore.
Oh my word. I mean, I didn't watch either, but I know what it's about.
I mean, I know what it's about, but I don't know all of the things that came about from it. Like, I'm an old man. Like, when people talk to me about, like, Real World and Road Rules, I go back to, like, Puck in Hawaii, in San Francisco, in Boston. I don't go to all of these other ones where everybody's in these nice climates and doing all the fun stuff. I go back to the early days of these shows where they actually had to have jobs and shit. Like, it's crazy. I mean, I know what he does, but that's because he's a DJ and he gets turned. That was the thing. Like, part of this match was me trying to figure out what this Laynie Luck character is, because I don't understand the party unicorn. I don't understand turnt. So I was very confused. The other thing
did you see also on social media where, like, the moment this came out, the tiara gift that came out of this of her looking like that at the camera when Lady
we'll get to that in the main event, because that was something I wanted to bring up in the main event. It was fantastic. But my star of the opening match is Kaitlyn Marie. I was unfamiliar with her game. I had seen her face. I had seen pictures of her. I was unfamiliar with everything that goes around with this woman. I am very much a fan. I cannot wait for more Kaitlyn Marie matches, because she does a lot of things that are interesting and different. And again, body shapes and styles make so many interesting matchups. And in the women's divisions, so many women are the same. Like, there's a joke on the internet that Vince McMahon likes his blondes, and essentially he has a robotic group of blondes that he can just interchange one with the other. Mm-hmm. I like how in this match we had 6 women who you could not confuse for the other. They all had a distinct look, style, both in the ring and out of the ring. When they were coming to the ring, everything about all 6 of these women is different. And that's sensational. That was incredible that we had 6 women who you knew you couldn't confuse one with the other. There was no, oh, is it this one or that? No, none of that. I love this match from beginning to end. I thought this was great. It went quicker than I expected. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish it was an elimination match too. But at the end of the day, I understand you want to get these shows done in about 2 hours. You don't want these talents staying here too long. It's a Monday night in Cranston, Rhode Island. Like, it's Rhode Island, for Christ's sake. You don't want to stay there longer. I don't go to Rhode Island. I lived in New England for almost 40 years. This was my first time to Rhode Island that I've driven through Rhode Island, but this is my first time, like, stopping and going somewhere in Rhode Island. I've lived here for better part of 40 years. You don't go to Rhode Island. Sorry, JT. I know you're from Providence, but no. I thought this was great. I thought this was fantastic. How far is Rhode Island? This show was about an hour away from me. It's the furthest I've ever driven for a wrestling show. I'll say that much. It's the furthest. And I know people are going to be like, oh my God, it's only an hour. Look, this is New England, man. Like, we don't drive anywhere for anything. Our highways are just straight fucking roads of nothing. Yes, an hour. I am a princess. I don't drive long distances to go to wrestling shows, especially on a Monday fucking night. Like,
I said I don't drive far, and now I have to drive an hour to see my partner.
Yeah, it's like I refuse to drive into the city. Like, when I have to go to Boston for the wrestling shows, I take the fucking train because I'm not driving in and out of the city. No, fuck no. So, like, no. But no, this was a great wrestling match from beginning to end. Kaitlyn Marie with that rear view and then the running hip attacks, like, that reminded me, and that reminded me of, like, Rikishi levels of, like, just in your face. Just fantastic work. Also, I'm so glad I watched this back, because you have to understand, from my point of view, I unfortunately was sitting directly behind the camera guy on the right side of the ring. So everything I saw was half obstructed by this poor cameraman who could not get out of my own way. Hello, Parrish. Thank you for joining me. But no, I thought this was great. I really enjoyed this. I thought everybody did a fantastic job. And I'm hoping that we get to talk about more about all of these people, because I think Angelica Risk is a star in the making. I think Nixie XS is sensational. I don't know how far the character can go, but I can tell you from the meet and greet, She embodies that every moment that she's in public. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say for Kaitlyn too. The rear view and the hip attack was one that was a highlight for me as well. And that coverage suplex was another one that was very much a highlight. Like the way she moves herself, she's so smooth and fast, but she also has those power moves when she has the moment to put them out, that she'll throw them out too. I thought that part was interesting. What I call it the chop off, when her and Angelica kept chopping each other like back and forth. That was pretty fun to watch too. Lili doing the three amigos too. I was like, I love my Editor tributes. So chef's kiss for that one, Lili. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But yeah, I feel like there was a lot of such back and forth action. And it's one of those matches that it could have ended at any moment. It could have been ended by anybody. And I love the beauty of that. I just didn't know who could have won it. I had an idea based on the people you told me were in the matches. You were telling me who was in it. And I was like, this is my order of people. And like, I think I kind of guessed like most of them if I was correct. I think 2 out of 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it's like like I said, it's like I wish it would have been elimination. I feel like it would have made it even more interesting with the back and forth. But I get it, because the main event was elimination. You will probably don't want to overdo it by having 2 of them on the same card. But I like the fact that Laynie is the one that won this in the end. I feel like I saw Brittany Brooks post that she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I disappointed everybody." And even I replied to her, like, "This is not a disappointment, because not I get the fact that she might feel that way, because, but I'm like, WWEID people were there. And I was like, they know about you. So you're one step closer than most people are. So I wouldn't count that as a disappointment, to be honest."
Yeah, we'll talk more about Brittany Brooks when we get to the main event. Moving on to our second. Oh, by the way, Laynie Luck does indeed win this match. She pins Nixie XS with the DVD. By the way, she loves that DVD and refuses to pin anybody without pinning them with the DVD, which I think is hysterical. Love that. We move on to our next match, the tag team match for the one of the 2 tag team matches for the evening, including the Shooter Boys, Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio, the former Wrestling Open tag team champions, as we saw in the video package beforehand. They got screwed out of those titles with the essentially like a call your shot gauntlet or a Money in the Bank. They call it the Opportunity Knocks contract for the tag team titles. And Stetson Ranch, another team we've talked about before from America Rana, are the new tag team champions. So we got to see a different version of the Shooter Boys here, and we're interested to get Astrid's reaction to that. Taking on 2 of our favorite people. We absolutely love these people. We're going to be talking about them a bit more, at least one of them a bit more, in a couple weeks. But I do want to just go ahead and throw this one up there. I did get a chance to take a picture with them. Starstruck. Anthony Greene and Channing Thomas. Channing Thomas, the new Dreamwave champion. And he will be in the main event of Dreamwave that we'll be covering in a few weeks. That show is next weekend, though. He's going to be in a first blood match against Connor Hopkins with everything that happened following Dreamwave last time out at the Halloween show. So I'm very excited for that. Astrid, talk to me about the tag team match here. Time limit draw. 15-minute time limit draw. Oh, sorry, 10 minutes. Sorry, this match was 10 minutes. The rematch will be 20 minutes. Okay, it was a 10-minute time limit draw. Yes, Anthony Greene is fantastic.
I like the storytelling here more than anything, because it wasn't like I don't want to say the wrestling wasn't the vocal point, because obviously the 2 wrestle, but it just like the vocal point was the way I would say it's like the way they react to each other, the way that they go towards each other, they gravitate, if that makes sense, because we get at those moments that the Shooter Boys are not really moving the way they usually do. And you're like, there's something going on here. Even if you're not watching the show, you're like, if you're not listening to commentary, just concentrating on what you're watching, you're just like, something's going on here. They're not 100%. And you have those moments that they're checking on each other. It's like, hey, are you all right? Hey, it's like, and then all of a sudden they want to do a high five. It's like, I'll go in for you. And like the back and forth they have with each other, you can see in the body language more than anything. And it's like, they're not here. They're not present, like here mentally. That you can see it in what they're wrestling. And I like the fact that you can see that translated with just like the body language here. And the time limit draw is something that surprised me, because I really thought they had it there at the end. But I was like, oh, the timing is so interesting here. It was like, to be able to do this and time it so well with the time draw, it's like that was so interesting to watch too. It doesn't happen really often. I'm like, I was hoping they still have more time, then they add a couple more minutes so they could finish the match. But I like the fact that Anthony Greene gets on the mic. Is like, hey, we want to face you guys, but you guys are not here right now. And you can see it. We can see it in the way you're wrestling. So it's like, we want to face you with the time limit draw extended. We the time limit to be 20 minutes instead. And we want to face you when you're like really here mentally, because you're not here mentally present. And I like the fact that they kind of like show it to us during the match, but they mention it in the end too.
Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. And I mean, this match is great because you've got 4 talented wrestlers in there. Channing Thomas and Anthony Greene, as Mel said. Anthony is fantastic. He's wrestled in Japan. He's wrestled all over the indies. He's wrestled for ROH. He's wrestled for AEW. He's wrestled for NXT. Like, he's wrestled everywhere, anywhere. Like, he's done it all. Channing Thomas, we've gushed about Channing Thomas. We love Channing Thomas here. He is sensational. I'm so very excited to see where he goes from here and everything else he's got going on. And I'm hoping he gets ID'd at some point soon, because this whole world-class character and then having the starstruck thing is so unique and so fun. And he's really down to earth. When I did the meet and greet, I was shocked at how down to earth and real Channing Thomas was, because you get the whole world-class gimmick and you think, okay, arrogant, asshole, kind of jerky guy, and you can still do that and do meet and greets and be really popular. Really down to earth, really talkative, chatty guy. I had a great time meeting him. This match was fantastic, but the stars of this match are the Shooter Boys because of the character work. More importantly, Anthony Vecchio, I need to shout him out because his work in this match was sensational, being downtrodden, angry, almost depressed to the point of anger. Like, he did not look like himself. We've watched him this same match. We literally have seen this exact same match before with Creative Pro Wrestling at Till Death Do Us Part. That was the match where Sidney Bacabella was making comments about his mom. And we saw an entirely different side of anger out of Anthony Vecchio on that night. I loved what they did here. These guys are normally a crisp, clean tag team. Everything works. Everything they tried to do was a step off on this whole thing. Going for their double team finish, Aaron Ortiz is 2 steps too close. He then takes 5 steps away, and now he's too far. And they're trying to do the communication, and then it gets reversed. So much good stuff here. Channing Thomas and Anthony Greene are the perfect opponents for this. Because in this place, in this realm, they're not heels, they're baby faces. They wrestled like baby faces. And Anthony Greene getting on the microphone and cutting that promo. We don't want you at 50%. You guys don't want 5 more minutes with us. Because if we had 5 more minutes with you two tonight, the way you're wrestling right now, we'll beat you. It's that simple. I refuse to give you 5 more minutes because I don't want to beat these Shooter Boys. I want to beat the real Shooter Boys. I love that that's a way to build a babyface versus babyface rematch of a time limit draw that makes you want to see the next match. And then upping the time limit to 20 minutes makes a ton of sense. And again, give these guys 18 minutes in this, because this isn't going to be something where you get like a 12-minute match out of this. I think this match is going to go 18. By the way, I should know how this match went because this match happened last night. But I haven't yet watched Wrestling Open from last night yet. It's on my to-do list. It'll be what I watch tomorrow. This was fantastic. I loved everything about this. The promo killed. The match killed. The time limit draw was a very surprising but well-used storytelling tool. And again, it's so nice to be talking about storytelling because we haven't covered a weekly program in a long time. So to be able to cover a wrestling promotion that works like a weekly television program, love it. Got to see more of this. We move on to the next match. And by the way, I can tell how much Astrid enjoyed this match or didn't enjoy this match because this match has 3 lines, all of 7 words for the entire match. The match is 7 minutes long, and Astrid's description of the match is literally 7 words. So Astrid, was Ichiban versus Devious Cast really good or really bad.
I'm like, yeah, we've been working together for way too long for you to know that so quickly from the lines. No, it was not my favorite match of the night. No, it wasn't.
Really?
No.
All right, so here I'm going to go ahead and gush a little bit about this match because I
No.
thoroughly enjoy this. I love Ichiban. I've been seeing more and more of Ichiban lately. I think he's great. I think Devious Cass has got something. There's a little bit of Myron Reed. There's a little bit of the Rascals in this Devious Cass. The way he acts, the way he looks, the way his hair is, everything about him. It's that new Rascals that we've got in TNA going on. I could see him literally taking Myron Reed's spot in that group, and it would be no change whatsoever. Also, his ability in the ring is fantastic. Playing that heel, knowing that Ichiban is the big baby face here, playing that heel, and Ichiban goes for a move, and Cass does this like little flip move over the top of him to hit like a pedigree style move that was absolutely clean as can be. One shot wonder, just nailed it right from the get-go. Ichiban is interesting. I don't know how long he's been around, but like I know he's been in MLW. He's apparently been around a while here because he was the first Wrestling Open champion in this promotion. And I loved we haven't talked much about commentary here because they did a good job of being informative, but not being in the way for the entire night. This match in particular, though, commentary shines. More specifically, Big Bacon Brad Hollister shines in commentary here, being a major rival of Ichiban in this promotion. Gave him an interesting look at it where he's like, I didn't like to wrestle Ichiban because he's really good and he made my life miserable, but I made sure to make his life miserable all the fucking time.
I looked it up because I wanted because I'm like, body wise, he looks kind of young, but he doesn't. But the way he moves, he doesn't feel like he's young. And I know it's not the best source, but it's the only one I got. It's Cage Match. 25 years he's 25, but it says he started beginning of in-ring career 2020.
Makes sense. I can see that. Like
December
he's absolutely fucking incredible. If he started wrestling in the pandemic, he's fucking sensational. Ichiban is number one. Number one Ichiban. I love this match. I really enjoyed this match. It wasn't as good as the Desmond Cole match that I got to talk about last week. And I think I want you to watch that Desmond Cole match because I think it'll give you a nice look at Ichiban. But I thought this match was really good. And again, it's being sandwiched between two incredible tag matches. And I think this is the match to give everybody a little bit of a break. It's a little bit of a come down match. I don't want to say it's a bathroom break because it's not. None of these matches were bathroom break matches. But you put a wrestling card together where it goes up and then it comes down and it goes up again. This is the down. This is our middle point. If we're playing WWE 2K, this is our third match, just like it is on this card. This is our, it's going to be the low-rated match so we can go up on the ends again. But I had a lot of fun with this match. I really like both these guys. Devious Cass is my one to watch. Somebody that I had never seen before, that I didn't really know much about. I had literally just seen him like 2 days before on Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling. I was watching a show. He was in a tag match. And that was the first time I'd ever even heard his name. So this is my first real opportunity to get a good look at him. I thought he was great. I think he fits right in, like I said, with that Rascals thing, which is why I'm surprised you didn't like the style in the match, because that's right up your alley. And I thought this is exactly an Astrid match. And look at the notes. 3 lines. Drop kick, springboard elbow from Ichiban. Ichiban wins. All 7 words.
No, I was gonna say it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't that I'm not saying that I didn't like them either, because I did like them, but it wasn't my favorite match of the night either. Ichiban is growing on me. Devious Cass, like you said, is one that I didn't know anything about before, and it was a great introduction to him so far. You say the Rascals, well, I see a lot of Javon in him as well. I feel like there was a little mix in there too, so it just reminded me a lot of him. So I was like, he's super young too. I was like, I cannot wait to see what else he does moving forward as he keeps growing and growing, because he did really well in this match, and I'm imagining he's probably just starting off because he's super young too. So I can only begin to imagine how well he's going to do even better as he keeps growing and growing.
And if you want to learn more about Devious, Cass, tonight was a really happenstance night. He just did an interview with Tiffany, Queen of the Indies, on Under the Ropes. So after this, go ahead and check that out. If you want to learn more about him, you can go ahead and check out that interview with him. It was about an hour long that she just did tonight. Fascinating young man. A really, really interesting interview. Really enjoyed it. Moving on to our WWE ID Talent Tag Team match, as we have Aaron Rourke and Marcus Mathers, a tag team on WWE Evolve, WWE ID Talents, and for Marcus Mathers, former Wrestling Open champion. He is the previous champion to one of the guys on the other side of this, the Fancy Bears. Fancy Ryan Clancy and Bear Bronson. Bear Bronson has become a favorite on this show. We have talked endlessly about Bear Bronson, and I will continue to talk endlessly about Bear Bronson. Because honestly, if I had to give a Wrestler of the Year, like for all of the shows we've done all year long, my Wrestler of the Year is Bear Bronson. Because this guy was in AEW. Well, in AEW. He was in Ring of Honor. Wasn't doing a whole... In AEW.
I know, but he was doing AEW.
And then he got out of... He either got let go, or his contract expired, or he left. Whichever, I don't remember which one of the three it is, but he's no longer there. And he came back to the Indies, and he has been a completely different Bear Bronson. He has decided to take the deathmatch route, which isn't my cup of tea, and I don't watch those matches. But the fact that he can be the funny Bear Bronson we saw tonight, the Bear Bronson we saw that me and Bobby talked about at Narcissistic Behavior, taking on a guy like Alex Hammerstone, and then teaming with a guy like Fancy Ryan Clancy, taking on Aaron Rourke and Marcus Mathers. Like, the ability to do all of that. Oh, yeah. And then be able to tag with his wife, the Nomi, Gabby Forza. Like, this man has had one hell of a year on the Indies, and he was only on the Indies for half a year.
Yeah.
He has revitalized his career and made himself must-see television. And I cannot believe how great he is, and the response to him too. Fancy Ryan Clancy has been on Noah. I really enjoy his over-animated UK strong style vibe. I also like the whole hand thingy that he does. I don't do a good Ryan Clancy, but you know. I love this match. I thought it was great. I liked the Fancy Bears are a tag team that were in the tag team tournament that they had just recently, and things didn't go well. And Bear Bronson is holding the Opportunity Knocks contract, where he gets a shot at Fancy Ryan Clancy's title whenever he wants. More importantly, he beat Marcus Mathers a couple weeks ago. Yes, the vintage chess pose, indeed. A couple weeks ago, he beat Marcus Mathers with Ryan Clancy as the special guest referee. And he won that match to become the #1 contender for the Wrestling Open Championship that Ryan Clancy holds. This was fantastic. These two couldn't get along. The other two guys were sensational together, continuing the WWEID tag team that they've got going on. I love this. I love everything about this. I wish Evolve and WWE would give Aaron Rourke a bit more spotlight, because I think if they give him the ball, they're not going to be disappointed. He is going to fucking run with it, because he is so interesting in this. Like, he tries to do like this like running DDT to Bear Bronson, and he gets caught, and he has this visual like he looks like a child sitting on Santa's lap as he's being held like on his side with like his back to Bear, and he just has this look of pure oh shit on his face. Just sensational. Ashley, what did you think of the tag team match here?
I know I had seen clips of Aaron mostly on Twitter, so I hadn't seen him wrestle, just seen kind of like his character work. But him and Marcus are such a great team together. I love how they like had that communication thing that is just so smoothly done. And I even especially love the beginning of the match, because Aaron is so smooth, the way he just moves from one thing to another. It just in such a way that I can't even describe it. But I hadn't seen them teaming up, so I thought their tag team was gonna be interesting when I saw it. And it's like, I love how well they work together. There's there's obviously it reminds me a little bit of that communication that kind of like the Machine Guns have. It's like I feel like they communicate and you don't know how they communicate with each other, but they just do it in such a way that it just like I can't even describe it. And I love how they're so fast paced about it too. And it's just like one of those things that you almost miss out how quickly they do it and how smoothly it's done too. I love the fact of like having Bear with with Ryan here, like that dynamic on their end. It's being the total opposite. It's so interesting to watch too. And I love the name the Fancy Bears. It's like that really got me from the beginning. I like the fact that there's a one point I forgot what move he was gonna try to do on him, but Ryan was gonna do something to Aaron, and then Aaron just like basically bends down on him, and then that distracts Ryan, and his facial expression was so funny to watch. But I love how more than anything they have fun with the match. And it's like you can see it in their faces that they're just having fun with each other and with the story that's happening there. So I just love that end of it. But I definitely want to see more from Aaron. I like I said, I hadn't seen much of him before, so I'm more interested in his character work, and I want to see more of that moving forward. Like you said, if he gets that opportunity to be able to do it, that would be awesome too. But yeah, he was my person that really liked my highlight during this match because I hadn't seen anything of him before.
Yeah, he went face down, ass up to Ryan Clancy when Aaron was behind him, and it definitely threw Ryan Clancy off his game. We then get a nice little promo where Bear talks about how he's got Clancy in 2 weeks, which was, again, last Monday. It was yesterday's show, so that'll be out there. Me and Astrid will probably give that a watch because that's going to be a fun main event to go ahead and keep an eye on. And he reminds them that, remember, this is because I'm the number one contender. I still have the contract. And I like how he doesn't only say that he gives him the opportunity to face him whenever he wants. It gives him the match he wants. Are we going to... I know we're probably not going to get it at Wrestling Open. I mean, it kind of has to be at Wrestling Open, but I think it's going to be like a November Corona type of thing. The thing I think is because one of the things I didn't talk about going into this is that we are told as we walk in the door and before the show, before we go live on IWTV, to remember that this is a family-friendly show. No swearing, behave ourselves, keep our comments to an acceptable level, a PG level. But if Bear's going to cash in for any kind of match he wants, it feels like it would be a deathmatchy type of vibe. Because it would get Ryan out of his comfort zone. And I'm like, I don't know if you can do that with Wrestling Open. I don't know how willing they're going to be to open that up. But if it's on like an America Rana type show, and Drew teased at the end of the show that there's going to be another Karana show in the winter, sometime towards the end of the winter, beginning of the spring. Because he just did November Karana and it was so good. He's like, do we need to do more of these big shows? Is that what you guys want? And based on the numbers that America Rana did for us, we're going to cover more of them because that show did gangbuster numbers. So yeah, that match took place last night. Very excited to see what happened coming out of that. We are now on to our main event of the evening for the vacant WWE ID Women's Championship. This, of course, was vacated by Kylie Rae when she found out that she was pregnant. So congratulations to her. And again, the perfect first person to hold that championship. Because for so many years on the independent scene, Kylie Rae was women's independent wrestling for a while in the last few years. As many of them got signed, like the Candice LeRae's of the world and people like that, as they got signed, Kylie Rae was kind of that indie darling that just never seemed to work out wherever she went. She'd go to AEW, and unfortunately, things wouldn't work out for her there. And then she went to TNA, and things didn't really work out for her there. And now she comes to WWE ID. She gets ID'd. She's on Evolve. They're handing her the ball, and they're like, here you go. We're going to make you our women's ID champion. And the happiest moment of her life, she gets pregnant. It's a fantastic moment for her. But it's just another one of those things where it's like another stop and go for her career. And I feel bad for her about that because she's so good at what she does. But it gave us this great opportunity. Laynie Luck had earned herself the spot in the sixth and final spot in this elimination match. Also, we had Notorious Mimi, who I didn't realize until pulling PNGs that this is Sloane. I believe it's Sloane Jacobs was her name in NXT. Yep. I recognized her when I saw her. I'm like, I know this person. I can't remember where, though, but I know her. The Notorious Mimi. Shannon Levangie, who I'm very familiar with. See her all the time in Chaotic. Love the work she does. Brittany Brooks, who we're very familiar with our coverage of Uprising, with our coverage of Dreamwave. Fantastic. One of the reasons why I had to go to this show, because she doesn't come to the Northeast very often. So when I found out she was going to be here, that was the one Astrid sent me. She's like, hey, you going to this? And I'm like, oh, Brittany Brooks, it's a pretty damn enticing one. And then they announced Erica Demi, and I'm like, shit, I've got to go to this show. Because I love Erica Demi. She's fantastic. She's lovely. I'm just going to leave this here. But yeah, and then of course, Tiara James. The top shelf Tiara James had the moment of the night. We saw it live, but we didn't realize how good it was going to be until I got on Twitter afterwards. They're announcing all the participants, and the cameraman is in the very corner of the ring looking at Laynie Luck. And Tiara is standing next to him, and she just does a Joe Hendry style turn and just looks in the camera and gives this complete deadpan look directly at the camera and just shakes her head. It is the most incredible thing in the world. Top-notch Tiara, fantastic. It's the best thing I can say about Tiara because I didn't see a lot from her in this match. I want to see more of her because I think that whole character has something to it. The other thing I will say is, as different as all 6 of these women are, there's a lot of similar styled characters in this. It felt... There's a lot of attention-grabbing women in this match. Not necessarily from a looks point of view, but from a, my character's goal is to grab your attention. Whether it be Erica Demia in the whole manga thing, in the simp thing, in the whole ooh, whatever the hell that bullshit is. I don't understand that. I know it. I know where it comes from, but I don't get it. I'm not that weeb enough. I don't understand that. To the Brittany Brooks, the center of attention. To Notorious Mimi coming out with the Mandy Rose styled, angel's wings, Victoria's Secret style angel's wings on her back. Like, all of this is very look at me, heel attention kind of thing. And that I'm surprised because in the opening match, we talked about how different everybody was and how there was no way to confuse. And again, you can't confuse any of these women either. But I felt like the gimmicks were a little bit more centered around the specific thing. What did you think of this match, Astrid? You are our women's wrestling expert here.
I'm gonna send you the link of the Tiara moment because we have to show it on screen. There's no way not
Absolutely.
to. Even if you describe it, you have to watch it because it's just so funny. No, I like the fact that, like you said, Tiara's the only one that I wish I would have seen a little bit more of. But I like the fact that I would say to that point, everybody gets a highlight in the match before they get eliminated. Sorry. But it's just like the only thing is like I kept thinking about who's gonna win this. Even though it got spoiled for me. Oh yeah, I think you can. I thought I gave you the whole link. No.
No, you did. I shared the wrong. I shared the wrong one.
Okay, there you go.
I'm bad with Twitter. Just priceless.
It was. I forgot that happened in that show, and when it happened, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the one."
This is the one.
I forgot it was this one I first started. But this is the one I was talking about earlier that we do get moments with Mimi and Erica teaming up with each other quite often. But this is similarly to the opener too, that there was a lot of action always happening. There was really any moments that you had kind of like any kind of quiet. I like how the fact that they had a lot of the crowd's attention because you could hear a lot of the reactions happening whenever they did it. It's like, oh, this happened, oh, that happened. But I love how everybody got their time to shine. And like you said earlier with this one too, they all have different characters as well, and they're all different and unique in their own ways. And they all get that spotlight in this match before the match even ends. I like that there was elimination because it gave a spotlight of like you had less and less people, so it made more focus on whoever was left in the match. But it also made it so interesting because it's gonna take a while to people to eliminate everybody here. I love the dive that Laynie did towards the beginning there to everybody outside, and then I thought about everybody was in too. I noticed that Shannon then did hers, so she was the only one that wasn't left there. That was beautiful to watch. Yeah, I just loved watching everybody here, to be honest. Tierra though, I think she's one that I wish I would have had a little bit more here. At one point, she did a spine buster that looked beautiful to watch. One of my favorite parts that she had there. Um, but yeah, I just like seeing all the women getting like celebrated here. I love the fact that we get two women's matches like this tonight, and so many different women for a shot at WID. And I mean, congratulations to Kylie, but it also gave a great opportunity to all these women. And like I said earlier, when Brittany the hit post too, I just the fact that they were in this match is the fact that WWE is watching them and WWE knows about them. To me, that's enough that there's interest there for something in the future there as well. So that's why I'm proud of the women for being a part of this somehow. I love the picture that they all posted of they were in the ring too before the match started. Like that was amazing to just look at social media that they see in the clips from the show. So I was very happy.
Yeah, I think this was a fantastic match. I was surprised by the eliminations. Like seeing Shannon go early took a lot of energy out of that crowd real quick because that's our hometown girl. That's the one we all know and love. And to see her get eliminated right out the gate, just 5 minutes into the match was such a surprise. Again, I want to see more from Tierra. I think she was really interesting and there's a lot to her. I really loved commentary talking about Mimi and her time in NXT and being like, we asked her about this and she says, I wasn't ready. I got there. I got the opportunity. I wasn't ready. I didn't flounder it, but me now being WWE ID'd versus me spending time in NXT would be completely different. She's like, I would take that opportunity in a much different way. I know more and I can do more. And I really liked that. I was surprised how many women were willing to tag themselves into this match. This is an elimination match. The heels especially should have been jumping off the apron, should have been getting down to let the baby faces kind of get stuck in the middle. And because you don't have to win the most falls, you just have to be the last one to win. So one of the things that I would do if it were me is get off the ringside apron, not tag myself in. But this is WWE ID. You want to show off for the WWE, so everybody wants to be in the match and doing their thing. If I were to have ranked before the show who was going to win this match, I think Brittany Brooks would have been at the top of my list. I think she was the shoo-in for me to be WWE ID'd. Yeah. Laynie Luck wasn't on the top of my list. Once she got into this, I thought, well, maybe. But then again, I also thought, well, it seems crazy to do the whole she qualifies and then she wins. So I'm like, she might be the runner-up. She might be the one. She goes all the way. She gets to the end and then she loses. And I'm like, oh, Brittany versus Laynie in the end. No. Brittany gets eliminated third, leaving Erica Demia, Notorious Mimi, and Laynie Luck by themselves. And I loved at this point, the two heels are like, no, we work together. We do this together. We work together. We get rid of her. And then whoever wins, wins. And they didn't turn on each other, which is great. Because you hear Brad in throughout commentary being like, when are the girls going to turn on each other? Because he goes, that's what I would do. Also, I do love Brad during various portions of this. When girls would come out with their gear, he'd be like, why did they steal that from my locker? Like, he was so willing to have fun and make a little bit of fun of himself. He was so much fun on commentary, but also he added so much to commentary. Not all professional wrestlers can do commentary well. Some of them do commentary very poorly. I was very happy that Brad Bacon was able to, Brad Hollister, Big Bacon Brad Hollister was able to really do well on commentary. I really enjoyed this commentary team. Like I said, They weren't the greatest, but they also weren't offensive. They were there when they needed to be. They were telling me all the things I needed to know, but they laid out a lot more than some of the other teams that we did. And at times I felt like I could have used a little more from them, a little more energy, a little bit more volume, a little bit more oomph. Which again is why we love Chris and Swole so much. And I think we've got some news on that we're going to talk about in just a bit. But the Tower of Doom spot was sensational. And I was in the perfect spot for this because I was in the corner where the Tower of Doom spot happened. So I got to see the whole thing develop right in front of me and go down. I thought it was really cool. And then, again, this was the litany list of DVDs because Laynie Luck pinned about 2 or 3 people, and she hit about 4 or 5 DVDs in this match.
Yeah.
And new Women's ID champion, Laynie Luck. Congratulations to her. She absolutely deserves it. She's had a hell of a career running around all of the indies, being one of the best in the business for a long time. This is a name I've known forever. I've never gotten to watch many of her matches. I've never really sought out her career. But I've known the name Laynie Luck for years. And to see her get this opportunity and to see the love and the outpouring from the fans, from the other talent. I mean, the big girls group hug in the middle of the ring after she wins the title was a special moment. That was really adorable. Being given her WWE ID contract by Marcus Mathers and Aaron Rourke, the 2 ID talent, was really cool. And then Aaron saying a couple words of being like, but this isn't about me. Laynie, here's your moment, and just getting out of the ring. And then what you don't see on TV is him and Marcus hyping the crowd up, telling us all to get off our... Because a lot of us were still seated at this point because you don't want to stand up. There's a lot of kids here. You don't want to stand in front of the kids and obstruct their view. But he's telling everybody to get up, so kids are starting to stand on chairs. It was a really cool, interesting, just nice moment. Laynie's emotional promo was really great. And that was it. That was our whole show. It didn't take very long. Just under 2-hour show. It made Astrid's whole week. She was very excited for it. I think we're going to come back to Beyond Wrestling and Wrestling Open at some point. Astrid just wants to do more 2-hour shows, so Astrid's more than happy to watch 2-hour wrestling. Did you not message me on Discord earlier this week going, we need to do more 2-hour shows?
I said, give me something short because I need my attention. I can't do 3-hour shows.
Well, stop watching them at work on Monday and start watching them on like a Friday with the boyfriend on the weekend.
No.
Yes.
No.
Anyways, how many CPA shirts would you give Beyond Wrestling, Wrestling Open, Rhode Island, episode 33, the Women ID Showcase?
Out of 10, right? I think it was.
Out of 5. 5 CPA shirts.
5,
he can't wear 10 shirts.
Yeah, that's too many. I'll do 4.5.
I would agree, about 4.5. I enjoyed all the matches. I thought everything got enough time. I think there could have been some extra time on all the matches. But I have no complaints. I had a ball. I had a great time. And again, I had a great time. I met some wonderful people. Starstruck, Jess Channing Thomas, Nixie XS. We've seen the Eric Academia show. And of course, when you go to independent wrestling shows, make sure you buy merch, people. Go to the wrestling shows, do meet and greets, buy merch. I got myself a wonderful Eric Academia shirt. Channing Thomas didn't have an 8x10 with him with the Dreamwave Championship yet, so I bought his trading card. I bought an 8x10 from Nixie, and she even gave me a little pin here, a little perfume bottle pin, which I thought was really good because wrestling fans and perfume bottle just makes a whole lot of sense. Astrid, tell the good people where they can find you and tell them what we got coming up next week.
Yeah, really excited to revisit this one. So hopefully the guest is able to come through. We would have the guest with us. So, send positive thoughts and energy towards us. So it happens.
Well, what's the show?
Well, it's the Ase Wrestling Show. We're doing the anniversary show, to be specific, because it's in December now. So really excited to go back and revisit this. I know they have one of the matches is Alexis Littlefoot versus Savannah Evans, so I'm really excited to watch that. And probably a lot more that I probably don't know at this point because I haven't looked at it. But I'm really looking forward to it because we liked Swole and Chris in the commentary, so I'm happy to revisit that because my favorite commentary team so far in this run that we have, this indie run we have right now. So that'll be for next week. Aside from that, you can find me on my Twitter Blue Skies Astrid Pizarro, in my Instagram and Threads Astrid Pizarro 20, and I'll be here next week on Tuesday again at this one.
Yes, we will be here. We will be talking the Ashe Wrestling 2-year anniversary show. Some of the matches on this show: Darian Bankston taking on Shug D in a hold for hold challenge match. So this will be fun. No strikes, just holds for holds. So this is going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm scrolling through the Twitter just to get more of the matches here. The main event is going to be Darius Carter, the All-Father Darius Carter, the Ashe Men's Champion, taking on LeBron Cozone. So that'll be a whole bunch of fun. We saw LeBron Cozone at the last show that we covered for them. Do we have another match? I believe we have a Bishop Khan match too.
I thought we did.
Yeah. We've also got the number one contenders for the tag team championships. The Audacity are taking on the Top Shooters, taking on the Ugly Gang. So that'll be a whole bunch of fun. I'm looking. Hold on. Give me one more second. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. But I know advertised for the show is also Cedric Alexander and Charity King, the Ashe Women's Champion that we talked about at the last show. So very excited to talk more Ashe wrestling, and especially if our special guest can join us, that would be fantastic. I'm very excited for that one. You can find me at all the usual places down here, yada, yada, yada. None of it matters. You know where to find me. But yeah, very excited for next week's show. If you want to watch shows that we've already done, you can catch me on Ring Respect Radio from last Thursday night on Thanksgiving as I jumped in there and we talked All Out Ladder War Chaotic Wrestling's Breaking Point show with one of the most interesting sets from an independent wrestling show that I've seen ever. It reminded me of the early WWE stages from before the days where they got HD. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. You can, of course, check out our local establishment at Ol'Ed Podcasts on all your favorite social media platforms and our local establishment on YouTube. Please watch these shows on YouTube and watch some playlists and stuff. We are at 2,900 watch hours. We are less than 100 watch hours away from being our first level of monetization. So if you can please leave a comment, go ahead and leave a like on YouTube, both on ours and on Astrid's. To go ahead and do that and to get us up to the first level of monetization, where you can then send in super chats to make me say silly, stupid stuff. It'll be a whole lot of fun. Thank you all for joining us. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to leave you with Astrid's new Taking Over Open. I don't know if you all noticed it. It's a new Taking Over intro. So we'll leave you with that. We'll let the whole intro play, and then we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I am in misery.